Edward Bernays. Do you remember that name, bro? Remember earlier,
Yes.
I asked you, do you remember or do you know why we call it the American breakfast?
Right.
And what is the American breakfast? Like I said, we used to think that breakfast was just something really light. Well, there was a company named Beechnut, and it was they wanted to sell more bacon. So they approached Edward Bernays, right? And so Edward Bernays was very instrumental in getting people to say that, hey, bacon is a very good, healthy part of a breakfast. Eat a big breakfast, and it was propaganda, is what it was.
He's to blame. That's what you're saying. It's his fault.
Well, pretty much, but we bought it, right? We bought it bacon in droves, or in packs of whatever. But no, it was more than that. Let's discover who Edward Bernays actually is. Edward Bernays was the nephew, is no longer with us now. He was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. All right. And so this is up on the screen. You see the propaganda, the greatest works of Edward Bernays. And that was the forerunner to what they call public relations now.
Right.
All right. So public relations was just a nicer way of saying propaganda, because propaganda has a negative connotation. But what it was psychological control. Now, there was something else that Edward Bernays was famous for. He was approached by a cigarette company. Men participated in that mostly. Of course, Lucky Strike wanted that they could enter into the market with women. The problem is that people perceive that as not good for women. Now, this lady that you see on the screen right there, you notice that she's wearing emerald green. Okay. So they had identified that women didn't think that it was, well, in our terms, cool to smoke. So what he did is he said, well, what you need to do is green is not a women's color. You need to change that. They said, we can't really afford to change all of our, everything in our packaging and all of that. So what Edward Bernays did is he contacted the fashion industry to make the color green very fashionable for women. That color green. And now you're seeing that color green is the same color as the one on the pack. So they begin to show the women in media pictures of other women who are well known smoking cigarettes, and that color green was a color that the women wanted to do. So it was fashionable for them to carry around a pack of the green Lucky Strike cigarettes. This was the work of Edward Bernays. Okay. And so one of the things that Edward Bernays said was that it's okay to do propaganda as long as your intentions are good and you're leading people in the right direction.
Yeah.
According to who?
Yeah. According to who? Right. Exactly.
Right.
According to who? And I think he was right according to who was paying the bill.